All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're going to reveal the massive, completely invisible architecture hiding behind the everyday magic of just checking out at a store. I mean, we do it all the time, right? Grabbing a morning coffee, picking up groceries. We just hover a piece of plastic or a phone over a machine, wait for that little beep, and walk away. It feels entirely effortless, almost like magic. But underneath that super mundane action is literally one of the most sophisticated, high-speed technological ballets in the entire modern world. So today, we're breaking down exactly what is happening in that invisible realm.
And here's the craziest part. All of this, I'm talking a massive amount of encryption, networking, and data verification, happens in just 1.5 to 2 seconds. Just think about that for a second. In the time it takes you to blink or just take a single breath, your payment method is communicating with a local terminal, encrypting your data, firing it across the country, or honestly, sometimes across the world, to secure servers. It's verifying who you are, checking your bank balance, and shooting an approval message all the way back to the cash register. It's just an absolute marvel of engineering.
So you might be wondering, what actually happens in the blink of an eye when you tap to pay? Well, to see how this incredible feat is pulled off, we need to compare the mechanics of your standard physical plastic card with your digital phone wallet. While both of them do the exact same thing, moving money from your account to the store, they actually use slightly different tricks to get there. And understanding these differences, that's the absolute key to understanding how our modern financial security actually works. Okay, Act 1, the plastic handshake. Let's look at exactly how physical cards operate to keep your money safe. So modern physical cards really rely on two main technologies. When you tap your card, you're using NFC. That's near field communication. This uses radio frequency identification at a super close range, usually under 4 centimeters. And what's really wild here is that your card doesn't even have a battery in it. Instead, the payment terminal actually emits a tiny electromagnetic field, and that field is what powers up a hidden miniature antenna right inside your plastic card. Pretty cool, right? On the flip side, if you insert the card, you're using the EMV chip. You know, that little metallic square on the front? In that case, physical contact points connect the chip directly to the terminal's power. But either way, the card wakes up and gets ready to talk. Now this is where it gets fascinating. Your card is actually acting as a tiny, highly secure computer, rather than just spitting out a static number. Back in the day with magnetic stripes, swiping your card basically just shouted your permanent card number out loud to the machine. And obviously, that was incredibly easy for thieves to intercept and copy. But today, the microchip inside your card does something entirely different. It generates a cryptogram. Basically, that's a unique, one-time digital signature generated exclusively for that one specific transaction. And this kicks off what we call the cryptographic handshake, which happens in 3 rapid steps. First up, the challenge. The merchant's terminal sends a piece of totally random data over to your card's chip. Second, the calculation. Your chip grabs that random data, mixes it with a secret internal key, and runs a super complex mathematical algorithm. That creates the unique cryptogram we just talked about. And third, the transmission. This one-time cryptogram, along with some masked card info, gets sent back to the terminal. This entire setup is brilliant because even if a hacker is, lurking nearby with a scanner to intercept the transmission, the data they steal is totally 100% useless. Why? Because that specific digital signature was only valid for that exact microsecond and can literally never be used again.
Moving right along to Act 2, the digital wallet vault. Let's escalate our security narrative here and see how stuff like Apple Pay or Google Wallet operate as literal digital fortresses. Believe it or not, making a payment with your phone or your smartwatch is significantly more secure than using physical plastic, and it all kicks off with a process called tokenization. Think back to when you first added a card to your phone. You probably snapped a quick photo of it, right? Well, your phone securely sent those details to your bank, and the bank then replaced your actual 16-digit card number with a completely random alternative number called a token. The absolute crucial point to take away here is that your real card number is never stored on your phone. And it's definitely not sitting on Apple or Google servers either. Your phone only ever holds this localized token. So where does that token actually live? It's locked deep inside your phone's secure element. This is a dedicated, completely isolated hardware chip, physically separated from the rest of your phone's operating system. To even initiate a payment, you have to authenticate yourself to unlock this secure element. That's exactly why you're forced to use Face ID, Touch ID, or type in a passcode before you can tap. Once it's finally unlocked, your phone acts like an incredibly strict digital bouncer. It uses its internal NFC antenna to broadcast that token, but it also bundles it with a one-time dynamic security code, meaning even if an advanced wireless scanner is hiding right next to you, they get absolutely nothing but temporary, totally useless codes.
Because of this, tokenization mixed with hardware-level encryption, bad actors essentially run into a brick wall. The combination of the secure element and your biometrics ensures that your real name, your 16-digit card number, and that super sensitive 3-digit CVV code on the back of your card, they are literally never transmitted through the air. Not once. So let's just do a quick comparison here. On one side, we've got the static physical chip in your plastic card. It wakes up using power from the terminal to generate a one-time cryptogram handshake. On the other side, we have the dynamic digital token locked inside your phone, which uses an isolated secure element and your literal face or fingerprint to broadcast temporary codes. So while they definitely use slightly different front-end mechanics, both of these methods are about to converge to achieve the exact same goal. They've both just generated a highly secure, one-time packet of data that now desperately needs to be verified.
Which brings us to Act 3, the lightning-fast network. Let's pick up the pace and track this secure data on its lightning-fast journey across the globe.
Okay, here is the exact 6-step road trip your data takes. Step 1. The merchant terminal captures that secure data packet we just broke down. Step 2. It immediately fires those encrypted details over to the payment gateway, which is basically the merchant's payment processor or bank. Step 3. The gateway routes this data up to the major card network. Visa, MasterCard, Amex. Now, fun fact, at Step 3, if you used a phone, the card network steps in to de-tokenize the data. They essentially match your temporary token back to your real account number inside their highly secure vault. Then, Step 4, the network passes the request all the way down to your specific issuing bank. Once the data finally hits your issuing bank, like Combank or ANZ, it performs 2 final lightning-fast checks. First, it asks, is this cryptogram valid? It's literally verifying the math behind that one-time digital signature. Second, it asks the obvious question. Does this person actually have enough money or credit to buy this? If both answers are a solid yes, the bank generates an approval message. And then that message is fired all the way back along the exact same network path, from the issuing bank, back to the card network, back to the payment gateway, and finally straight into the merchant's checkout counter. And boom, that brings us right back to where we started. The terminal prints a receipt, you get that super satisfying little beep, your phone does a quick vibration in your hand, and the whole shebang wraps up. We take this completely for granted every single day, right? But we've literally just witnessed a massive, highly secure, invisible architecture working flawlessly. We're talking electromagnetic fields, cryptographic challenges, secure hardware vaults, biometric unlocks, global network routing, and real-time bank verifications, all perfectly executed in roughly 1.5 seconds. Just incredible. So I really want to leave you with this thought. Now that you've seen the incredible invisible architecture and those massive security upgrades hiding right inside your smartphone's digital wallet, you kind of have to wonder about the future. If moving digital tokens is this fast and, honestly, this remarkably secure against interception, how much longer is physical plastic actually going to survive in our pockets? It's definitely something to chew on the next time you step up to a register. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking how the invisible world around us actually works. Catch you next time.